Southeast Ohio. This as cities across the South struggle with a once-in-a-generation winter storm.
I mean, we have snowstorms in Dallas, but not like this.
Please stay off the roadways, stay off overpasses.
Now at 6:30, the latest on conditions in our area and where to stay warm.
Plus,
it's going to be another apartment complex with a big parking lot. It's going to increase car dependency.
Developers want to bring more low-income housing to Athens, but some residents are concerned what this would do to their neighborhood. What they had to say at last night's City Council meeting.
And in sports, Ohio men's basketball's comeback effort falls short. Newswatch starts right now. Freezing conditions continue in our region. Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch. I'm Morgan Anderson.
And I'm Donovan Varney. Warnings remain in effect for most of Ohio. So for the latest, we want to take it on over to our forecaster, Steve Nedlick.
Steve, looking outside, it looks like another nice night in Athens, but how could the low temperatures drop tonight?
You know, tonight we're not going to get quite as low as we did last night because we're starting to have that Arctic high move on out to the east, but it is still going to get pretty chilly as real field temperatures could sneak below zero or right at zero. Now, looking at last night, we saw temperatures go as low as -12, which is just extremely dangerous conditions, especially if you were going anywhere last night or in your morning commute this morning. It was wild to have those temperatures so low, but tonight we won't have something quite as low. As for today, we had a high of 19, but again, that low in the morning was quite low down there at 8 with partly sunny skies because that high pressure started to move out. Currently, we're sitting again at 19 degrees with overcast skies, and you see that dew point at -3. That means that the air is extremely dry, which is why your lips might get chapped or your skin might get chapped. So that is why it's felt extra cold with these wind chills. Taking a look, as this high moves out, we're starting to get a little bit of snow showers in the area, but nothing crazy. We might see a few snowflakes. But looking towards the weekend, we might see a little bit more widespread. As for tonight, again, low as 8 degrees with partly cloudy skies, and those clouds are going to help keep some of that heat in. So be on the lookout, as if we clear out, we will have pretty low temperatures.
Thanks, Steve. And while we are dealing with a major freeze, much of the southeastern U.S. is also dealing with winter weather. Millions of people in states largely unaccustomed to snow are digging out driveways, navigating snowy commutes, and dealing with a slew of closures and travel delays.
At this hour, at least 10 deaths are being blamed on the severe conditions. Laura Aguirre is in Charlotte, just one of the many southern cities that awoke up to a lot of rare snowfall. A number of heating centers are open throughout the week as we continue to deal with these extremely cold conditions.
The Athens County Emergency Warming Center, located at the Old City Firehouse on Columbus Road, will open again in the next half hour. It will remain open until 9 a.m. The center is operated in collaboration with the City of Athens and The Gathering Place, a local nonprofit.
This is just one of the many heating centers across Athens County. On your screen are a list of other centers where you can stay to get warm. Here in Athens, the Christ Lutheran Church along Mill Street will be open overnight tonight, and in Nelsonville, Greater Works and the Nelsonville First Christian Church will be opening as overnight emergency warming shelters until 10 a.m. As this deep freeze continues, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources recommends people avoid venturing out onto any body of water that is frozen or iced over.
And even if ice looks stable, officials say conditions can quickly change and put you in danger. The ODNR says if you do venture out onto the ice, be mindful that ice conditions can change rapidly and bring proper safety gear for the occasion, such as ice picks, rope, and a throwable flotation device. Officials also say to check local weather forecasts and ice conditions before heading out.
WOUB is your source for news in Southeast Ohio, and as we continue to see temperatures well below freezing, it's important to stay connected on air and online. You can find the latest news anytime on our website, woub.org, or on the WOUB app.
Several Athens residents voiced their concerns about a new apartment complex along Pomeroy Road. The City Council is considering an ordinance that would change an open lot near the intersection of Pomeroy Road and Richland Avenue from R1 to R3. The change would allow for multifamily homes to be built on the plot. Spire Developments is asking for the change so it can build a 50-unit complex. Residents are worried these additional homes could add to existing problems along Pomeroy Road.
While there is a bus stop that's somewhere near Pomeroy Road, the frequency of that route is once an hour. It's a dangerous intersection without traffic calming or properly engineered sidewalks and crosswalks to get to that bus stop from where the new apartments would be built. So realistically, it's going to be another apartment complex with a big parking lot. It's going to increase car dependency.
If this ordinance is approved, it would only rezone the lot. Spire would have to move forward with another proposal to approve the project.
4 Chilean men are charged with breaking into the home of several pro athletes, including Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. This video here is a video of the hotel where the FBI found 4 suspects. According to the court documents, law enforcement were able to locate the 4 men after spotting a Bengals hat allegedly stolen in an SUV used by the suspects to rob Burrow's home. The men are charged with corrupt activity, participating in criminal gang, and possessing burglary tools. All 4 men have not pleaded guilty. Washington and Monroe counties are the first counties to fully implement a new statewide 911 system. It's called Next Generation 911, and its new $46 million system is being implemented all across Ohio. The governor's office says it provides citizens with advanced communication capabilities when calling for emergency services such as text messaging. Officials say NG 911 will also reduce the number of transfers between 911 call centers with more precise identification on the location of callers. The statewide system is expected to be operational in the spring.
We continue to follow the devastating fires in Los Angeles this evening as the city faces another round of fire-fueling Santa Ana winds. Many residents are struggling to figure out their next steps.
Michael Yoshida shows us how some community leaders and private donors are trying to help families start the long road of recovery.
I'll take this one. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Raven Maduro is one of the thousands of Angelinos trying to fill the void left behind by the deadly Los Angeles wildfires.
Everything outside just was disintegrated.
Maduro and her mother lived in Altadena, where the Eaton fire torched street after street.
I evacuated only with what I had, which was my car, and then eventually asked all my friends if we could stay in tents, and they dropped over tents, and we were sleeping in tents.
The daughter and mother able to find a hotel room after connecting with Victory Bible Church in Pasadena. Today, they're taking part in a relief hub, replacing essential items and clothing. A free legal clinic also taking place, helping families navigate insurance and other legal concerns.
And so much compassion.
Yes.
During this time.
The church also trying to meet immediate financial needs of families, saying a donor wrote a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars for those impacted by the fires. Families filled out a grant application, and a day later, checks were in their hands.
I don't know if they truly understand the impact that it has made on our lives. When we got the call to pick up the check, to sustain us and to get us at least to the next day or the next week, maybe even the next month.
What happens beyond that remains to be seen. From churches to drive-ins and more, community leaders are hopeful there will be enough resources long-term for families to rebuild and preserve the diverse, rich history of Altadena. As for Maduro,
it just seems like someone made these and just put them out there so I can be positive.
She's staying optimistic, finding hope where she can.
It just reminds me to stay positive and to believe that better times are ahead.
In Los Angeles County, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
The Tablertown People of Color Museum is looking for help cleaning up what will be their new home. The museum is moving about 2 miles down the road from their current location and next to an abandoned coal mine. Butcher, along with the Athens County Foundation, are asking for volunteers to help clean up the land on January 28th as part of the MLK Day of Service grant the museum received. The new site has a small building and some items that need to be sorted. Volunteers will start with a tour of the Tablertown Museum at 9 a.m. before heading over to the new site and ending the day around 4 p.m. People interested in volunteering can sign up through the website on your screen.
want to keep TikTok up, but we have to resolve the national security issues.
Coming up, after a turbulent week for the app, TikTok users in the U.S. have access to the social media platform again, but for how long? What could the future hold for the popular app?
And 2025 air travel is off to a bumpy start, but could that change as the year goes on? A look at this year's air travel outlook.
And relief from the sub-zero temps is on the way. Stick around to find out when next.
Since ancient times, 3 big cats have stalked the face of Africa. Leopards, cheetahs, and lions. Their stories collide along one special river in Botswana, where their kingdoms overlap. Now they compete, cat, to hunt and raise families in a world that is changing all around them.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Hey. Hey, you. We know what you did. And we think you're just the most magnificent person ever. Because you support public television. And you did it by donating your car to our station. Vehicle donations like yours bring significant funding to the quality news and programming you turn to every day. So now, it's time to celebrate you and all of our supporters that keep us going.
You have unleashed the best storytelling ever.
Migration is freedom to Black America.
There's much about me that you don't know.
Let's go, baby.
The age of dinosaurs still continues.
You didn't know that, did you?
I think we may have solved our mystery.
All of these movements are expressions of hope.
It's better than any movie script I've ever read.
It's an incredible story.
Migration is freedom to Black America.
African American migration was one of the most significant demographic transformations in the history of the United States.
If there's a Black American dream, it's to have the freedom to dream.
That decision to migrate, if that's not transformative, I don't know what is.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
It was yet again another chilly day in Athens as we had temperatures as high as 19, but they dipped as low as 8 in the morning with partly sunny skies, so it was a pretty day, but it was quite cold. Currently, we're at 15 degrees, and our skies have started to clear out, which is going to lead to, again, lower temperatures overnight, and we do have that dew point at -3, which means if your face is uncovered, if your hands are uncovered, you do have a chance to get frostbite, so make sure you are dressed appropriately if you are going anywhere this evening. Now, the reason for all of this is we had a cold front move through that kicked out this Arctic high that we had that was affecting us throughout the week. Now, that cold front is going to dip temperatures down, but it's also going to bring in some clouds that's going to help buffer those wind chills overnight. See, these clouds are moving through, and that's going to kind of act as a blanket, so we won't lose all of our heat overnight, and so it'll keep us possibly above 0 in the wind chills overnight. It will also bring with it snow, a little bit of snow showers, nothing widespread, but you might see a few snowflakes if you have any plans tonight, but nothing that's going to affect your travel. So out the door tomorrow morning, aside from a hat and gloves, you should be good. Taking a look, you can really see how these temperatures have dropped down from Canada and have started to push east, and you can see how it's starting to gradually warm as we start to get this air from the Gulf, and that's going to help replace some of this cold air that has affected us throughout the past week. Again, taking a look at tonight, an overnight low of 8 and partly cloudy skies. So it will be a little warmer than last night, but nothing too good compared to, these normal seasonal temperatures. Tomorrow, we will have a skyrocket in relative terms to 30 degrees as we will almost break freezing as we'll be at 30 degrees as a high, but we will have possible snow showers again. Again, nothing to leave the house early for in the morning, just a few snowflakes. Taking a look, we'll have this cold front again that'll move through tomorrow and that'll drop our temperatures, but it is going to be chased by a high pressure system that is going to kind of clear out our skies and make for a pretty beautiful weekend, especially if we can get those temperatures back up. Taking a look at Friday, you're going to see that we're going to see a little bit more of a widespread snow, and you're going to see throughout a majority of the state, we're going to see blue and pink colors. That's a mix, and that's a snow. So that no rain, but a lot of snow. That might affect your travel out the door in the morning, Friday morning. Taking a look at our temperatures, though, you can really see how we're going to rebound throughout a majority of the country, as parts of southern Ohio is going to get into the low 40s. So again, nothing crazy as compared to this past week. We'll have temperatures above freezing for the first time since the new year, it seems like. As we move into the beginning of next week, we will have temperatures as high as 37, but again, those possible snow showers are in the area. And on Tuesday, we will not see those snow showers anymore, but again, clouds will be in effect, and that'll really help us keep our temperatures a little higher than usual. And on Wednesday, we will have partly cloudy skies with a high of 42 and a low of 26. And that will, look pretty pleasant compared to what we had over the past few days.
Steve, when I walk around Athens with the brick roads and the snow and it's just freezing to become ice, I look like a penguin walking around campus.
Absolutely.
I look ridiculous, but I have my earmuffs on. But Donovan, do you wear your earmuffs to class?
No, I can't mess up my hair more.
No.
Right? So I can't wear my earmuffs because I gotta keep my hair looking nice. But when I go outside, it's so cold that my hair is now freezing over. But I did hear you say low 40s maybe this time next week.
Yeah, it's gonna look pretty good this weekend compared to what we had to go through. So,
yeah,
pretty nice stuff.
Yeah, that's way better than what we've got right now, for sure.
Higher temperatures, we'll get Donovan earmuffs, and Steve will be right. Better days are coming. They're coming.
Exactly.
All right, well, 2025 air travel has been off to a rocky start with snow in the south and fires in the west disrupting flight plans. But for those looking ahead to spring break and summer vacations, the outlook is good, according to travel experts. Experts say the best time to travel without many delays is early in the morning, and that's because the aircrafts for early morning flights usually park at the airport overnight. But if you need to make a connection, having more flexibility can bring lower fares.
Connections you're willing to take, how, late or early, if it's really important to you, like maybe with a corporate traveler to fly in the middle of the day at exactly the time that you want.
New data shows that traveling globally is making a rebound after the pandemic, just in time for the spring. The UN's World Tourism Office says 1.4 billion people traveled internationally last year, falling just shy of the number of travelers in 2019.
On Saturday, many TikTok users said what they thought was a final goodbye to the popular social media app. But now TikTok is back up and running and in the U.S. But the app's future is uncertain. Jen Sullivan looks at what users can expect and the security concerns many fear the app still raises.
TikTok is back. TikTok users in the U.S. were able to regain access to the popular social media app Sunday after assurances from President Donald Trump he would delay enforcement of a ban. On Monday, he signed an executive action to delay the ban for 75 days. TikTok shut down service for about 14 hours Saturday night, blocking the roughly 170 million American users from gaining access. Last year, Congress passed a law banning the app over security concerns about how the Chinese company was using Americans' information. TikTok and its China-based owner ByteDance sued the U.S. government, and the case went to the Supreme Court, which upheld the ban last week.
What we want is we don't want China spying on Americans. We don't want China influencing young people.
In the law, Congress gave TikTok's parent company until January 19th to sell the app to a buyer from America or one of its allies, or face it being blocked. That's why the app decided to go dark, infuriating many users like Joanne Molinaro, who depends on the platform for business.
I do need TikTok to continue engaging with the community that I've spent over 4.5 years building.
While users have regained access, it may not be permanent. In Trump's executive order, he says he gave himself the right to force the company to sell or close it.
The president is going to have to become more serious about finding a resolution to these issues. We want to keep TikTok up, but we have to resolve the national security issues.
If ByteDance refuses to sell TikTok, it could go dark in the U.S. again. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Next in sports, Ohio men's basketball fell on the road up in Eastern Michigan last night once again. Find out what went wrong for the Bobcats when we come back.
on Masterpiece Mystery.
Are you aware of the Thames Reaper?
4 murders in 3 months.
He has written a letter to the Morning Herald advising he plans to kill again.
This case needs fresh insight. It was you who broke the story of the Thames Reaper. It's a puzzle to solve, and that puzzle's more likely to be solved working with you.
Working for me.
I wondered, might you be free tomorrow evening to dine?
Oh.
Miss Scarlet on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece.
Aye, he's a bonny wee thing.
I'll be working on my speech if anyone needs me.
Speech?
I'm sorry, Mr. Harriet. Your mother insisted.
The animals always come first. Isn't that right, James?
Telegram for Mr. Farnan?
Is everything all right, Audrey? I'll try not to assume the worst.
It's easier said than done.
All creatures great and small on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
It's good to have everyone back together. Good news indeed. Put your feet up a minute. It's beautiful.
How does that sound, being man?
It's what I love doing. Cup of tea.
I was thinking more double whiskey.
Freshly baked biscuits.
Always.
Well, this is all proving rather cozy, isn't it?
It's time
I was an eyewitness.
to talk
It defies current material science.
about UFOs.
We can't say it's aliens, but we can't say it's not aliens.
What is known
The government does keep secrets.
There was a cover-up.
and unknown?
We can do scientific experiments. The more data, the closer we get to answering that question.
What are UFOs on Nova?
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm Grant Kiefer. It hasn't been the smoothest of sailing for Ohio men's basketball as of late, between Elmore James stepping away from the program, Aiden Hadaway's ankle injury, and now back-to-back losses on the road. The Bobcats are reeling a little bit. Last night was a tough one, coming in as 8.5-point favorites. Ohio was down as many as 21 points in the second half. A good lesson, though, is always play until the final whistle. Bobcats cut the deficit down to 5, but it was too little, too late. Ohio's defense has been a struggle as of late. It gave up 92 points to Akron last week, 94 points last night. No matter how good its offense is, that's just not the recipe for success. The loss doesn't do too much to Ohio in the standings. They're still third, but now sit 2 games back of Akron and Miami. Now, the major reason why that loss is disheartening, Kent State and Toledo and Miami are the Bobcats' next 3 games in order. Will be tough to stay afloat in the MAC standings. Ohio women's basketball in action tonight, and if you want to talk about a team that's had tough sledding as of late, this one is struggling a little bit. Big time. They need a win in the worst way possible. Ohio sits at 3-13 overall on the season, with only 2 of those wins being against Division I teams. It won't get any easier tonight as the Bobcats take on the 15-2 Buffalo Bulls. Now, however, Ohio has changed its offensive play style as of late, hoping something changes.
I think it's been kind of just a voice from everyone, trying to just see something going. A lot of the times there's mismatches that we have, so just trying to get to the basket, take our advantages, just trying to see something going so that way we can, kind of build off of that one.
On the high school side, some games got canceled last night due to weather, but some didn't. One of those that got played was a non-conference rivalry game for the Athens Bulldogs. Everyone right now, take a look to the right and remember the name. Leo Martin, career night for him. Pulls up from the top of the key. That is wet. Galley Academy could not stop this man on the inside or the outside. Easy floater off the glass. I mean, come on. How about that touch right there? Martin, again, slashing inside the paint, puts in the easy underhanded layup. Martin led the game with 27 points, but Weston Wheatley threw in 15 himself, and whoa, he hits the deck here. Watch out. Still makes the bucket, though. Bulldogs offense too much to handle for the Blue Devils. They win by 14. In high school girls basketball tonight, we've got 4 of the absolute best from the TVC Ohio in action. Megan Booth and Nelsonville York have had a bit of a down year this season, but won last night. They'll get a shot at Alexander, who've been nearly perfect in conference so far. Also in action, Vinton County has had an amazing bounce-back season, but it gets a tall task of playing the Athens Lady Bulldogs. Athens is coming off a loss Monday to Federal Hawking, but are having an amazing season once again as they sit alone atop the TVC Ohio. Athens is undefeated in conference, and how about this? 4 teams sit above 500 overall. No shortage of talent this year in the TVC Ohio. Now, if you're looking at Alexander and Athens at the top, it's still pretty tight. Those two will have their rematch on January 30th at Alexander. So, guys, it's been a tough stretch for Ohio men's basketball lately, but some opportunities to get it right. 2 home games coming up, both on national TV. How about that? Friday against Kent State on ESPNU, and Tuesday night against Toledo. That's going to be on ESPN2. It's just big for this program, for this town. I mean, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, these Bobcats getting big-time national TV stuff, that's great. I love to see it. Thank you, Grant. And still ahead, a once-in-a-generation winter storm is causing issues in the far south, but that's not stopping people from having some winter fun.
Normally, it's something that an artist cannot capture, and yet Leonardo does.
On Leonardo da Vinci.
The first stirrings of scientific revolution was just being felt.
We really do see all of Leonardo's scientific knowledge in the painting.
He's taken this straightforward subject and turned it into something wonderful.
Don't miss the conclusion of Leonardo da Vinci.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
Understanding the past gives a sense of the future. This is the first time that anyone has seen this in 2,000 years.
This is amazing.
Well, I'm excited now.
Pompeii is a battle against time.
You think I'm joking, but look at this. It did really happen.
Don't let anybody tell you who you are.
History teaches us to honor the past.
When you look back, you're like, wow, that was pretty special.
This is something that's actually altering the course of history.
You're charged with keeping these stories alive.
On iconic America.
For people around the world, the Statue of Liberty stands for freedom.
It's a place where many, many, many Americans can trace their history to.
What it's supposed to symbolize is the abolition of slavery, but nobody knows that story.
It's hard to argue that there's a more iconic symbol of America today than the Statue of Liberty.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
Snow may just be a part of life here in Ohio during the winter, but in the South, snow is not something you see every day.
While the snow is causing disruptions to travel, people are finding ways to have fun in the snow, and some for the very first time.
I've never seen snow falling. I'm like a little kid right now.
I'm like, dang, it feels like Christmas. Like, I'm from Texas, so it don't snow like that down here. It don't snow. It barely even snows. So seeing all this snow is something like new. It's magical to me.
It's not just humans in awe of the snow. Some animals also seem to be experiencing it for the first time as well. Now, guys, how cute is that? I love animals. A puppy in the vest in snow. Does it get cuter than that?
No, it doesn't get much cuter than that, honestly. I'm glad to see people that don't get to enjoy snow like we do finally get a chance to. Some don't like it. I mean, I'm a little over it, but you know, I'm glad they get to enjoy it. That's really nice.
Yeah, no, we might have some snow on the way, but nothing crazy. So we won't be playing in the snow like that. But we are going to see an increase in these temperatures. So nothing too crazy for us. I think we are through the thick of it in terms of those sub-zero temperatures.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching.
And stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night and stay warm. You can find more information at woub.org. Have a great night.
Support for PBS NewsHour is proudly provided by Luke S. Frazier.